The Galactic Council, a diverse assembly of alien species, convenes to assess the potential threat of humanity. During the heated debate, an ancient alien sage shares a chilling theory. Earth's myths might contain hidden warnings. Intrigued and alarmed, the Council sends an elite observation team to investigate. The chamber hummed with a cacophony of voices as representatives from countless star systems argued back and forth. At the center of the room, a holographic projection of Earth rotated slowly, casting an ethereal blue glow across the gathered delegates. Humans are a primitive species, barely capable of interstellar travel, scoffed a tentacled delegate from the Zorgan Empire. They pose no threat to the galactic community. Do not underestimate them, cautioned a crystalline being from the Luminous Confederation. Their rapid technological advancement is alarming. We must monitor their progress closely. As the debate raged on, an ancient alien sage, draped in shimmering robes, slowly made his way to the center of the chamber. The room fell silent as all eyes turned to the revered figure. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, the sage began, his voice carrying an otherworldly resonance. I have studied the myths and legends of countless civilizations across the universe. In my research, I have found that these tales often carry hidden truths, warnings from the past to guide the future. The sage waved his hand, and the holographic projection of Earth transformed into a kaleidoscope of images, gods battling monsters, heroes embarking on epic quests, and civilizations rising and falling. Earth's myths are no different, the sage continued. They speak of ancient evils, cosmic threats that once endangered the very fabric of existence. I fear that these stories may be more than mere legends. They may be warnings, left behind by those who came before, to prepare humanity for a battle yet to come. The chamber erupted into a frenzy of whispers and murmurs. Some delegates dismissed the sage's words as the ramblings of a senile old fool, while others leaned forward, their interest piqued. If there is even a chance that the sage is correct, declared the luminous representative, we cannot afford to ignore this potential threat. We must investigate further. After much deliberation, the Galactic Council reached a decision. They would assemble an elite team of observers, each possessing unique abilities and expertise, to infiltrate human society and uncover the truth behind Earth's myths. The team was led by Zora, a shape-shifting alien with a keen intellect and a mastery of human languages. Alongside her were Rax, a telepath with the ability to delve into the minds of others, Quiron, a technomancer capable of interfacing with any technology, and Lyra, an empath who could sense the emotions and intentions of those around her. As the team prepared for their mission, the ancient sage approached Zora, placing a gnarled hand on her shoulder. Be cautious, young one, he warned. The path ahead is fraught with danger. The fate of the universe may very well rest on your shoulders. Zora nodded solemnly, the weight of responsibility settling upon her. With a final farewell to the council, the team boarded their sleek, silver spacecraft and set a course for Earth. As the ship hurtled through the void of space, Zora pored over the dossiers of human myths and legends provided by the council. The tales were indeed strange and fantastical, filled with gods, monsters, and heroes possessing incredible powers. But as she delved deeper, she began to notice patterns and connections that seemed too precise to be mere coincidence. The ship entered Earth's atmosphere under the cover of darkness, landing in a remote forest clearing. The team emerged, their bodies shimmering and shifting as they took on human forms. They had studied human culture extensively, and now they seamlessly blended in with the population. As they set out to explore the world of humans, Zora couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something monumental. The ancient sage's words echoed in her mind, a constant reminder of the gravity of their mission. Little did they know, their arrival had not gone unnoticed. In the shadows, ancient forces began to stir, their long-dormant powers awakening. The stage was set for a cosmic battle that would determine the fate of not just Earth, but the entire universe itself. The team's journey had only just begun, and the secrets they would uncover would change everything they thought they knew about the nature of reality. Earth's myths held the key to salvation or destruction, and time was running out. The alien team arrives on Earth, each member possessing unique shape-shifting abilities to blend in with humans. As they delve into ancient legends, they uncover a series of mysterious artifacts that resonate with an otherworldly energy. The artifacts seem to be pieces of a cosmic puzzle. Zora and her team quickly adapted to life on Earth, their shape-shifting abilities allowing them to seamlessly integrate into human society. They split up, each tasked with investigating a different region and its associated myths. Rax found himself in the bustling streets of Tokyo, drawn to the rich tapestry of Japanese folklore. He immersed himself in the tales of the Shinto gods and the legendary heroes of the samurai. As he wandered through the ancient temples and shrines, he stumbled upon a small, unassuming antique shop tucked away in a narrow alley. Inside, an elderly shopkeeper greeted him with a knowing smile. "You seek the truth behind the legends," the old man said, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Perhaps this will guide you on your path." He handed Rax a small, intricately carved wooden box, adorned with symbols that seemed to dance and shift before his eyes. Meanwhile, Quirin traveled to the heart of Silicon Valley, the epicenter of human technological innovation. He marveled at the advancements humans had made in such a short time, their primitive computers and machines evolving at an astonishing rate. As he explored the cutting-edge research facilities and tech giants, he discovered a hidden server room, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. Inside, he found a strange device, a fusion of ancient runes and advanced circuitry. It hummed with power, and as Quirin reached out to touch it, a jolt of energy surged through his body, flooding his mind with visions of an ancient war fought on a cosmic scale. Lyra journeyed to the remote mountains of Peru, drawn to the legends of the Inca and their celestial gods. As she trekked through the lush jungle, she came across a hidden temple, its walls covered in intricate carvings depicting beings from beyond the stars. In the heart of the temple, she discovered a small golden amulet, emblazoned with the image of a condor in flight. As she held it in her hands, she felt a rush of emotions, fear, hope, and an overwhelming sense of purpose wash over her. Zora found herself in the ancient city of Athens, immersed in the tales of the Greek gods and heroes. She walked among the ruins of the Parthenon, marveling at the ingenuity and artistry of the ancient Greeks. It was there, in the shadow of the great temple, that she met a mysterious figure cloaked in white. The figure revealed himself to be a descendant of the Oracle of Delphi, tasked with guarding a sacred artifact passed down through generations. He presented Zora with a small crystalline sphere that pulsed with an inner light. As she gazed into its depths, she saw visions of the past and future intertwined, of great battles and terrible sacrifices. The team reconvened, each bearing their newfound artifacts. As they laid them out together, the artifacts began to resonate, their energies intertwining and amplifying. A holographic projection sprang to life, a star map of the universe with a single point pulsing with an ominous red light. Zora recognized the location, a desolate planet on the fringes of the galaxy, whispered about in the darkest corners of the universe. It was said to be the prison of an ancient evil, a being of pure chaos and destruction that had once threatened to unravel the very fabric of reality. As the team studied the star map, a chilling realization dawned upon them. The myths and legends they had been investigating were not just stories, they were fragments of a cosmic failsafe, a desperate plan set in motion eons ago to prevent the ancient evil from breaking free. The artifacts they had collected were keys, each one a vital component in a galaxy-spanning puzzle. Only by uniting them and unlocking their true power could they hope to stand a chance against the impending threat. But as they delved deeper into the mysteries surrounding the artifacts, they discovered that they were not alone in their quest. Other factions, both human and alien, had become aware of the artifacts' existence and were racing to claim them for their own ends. Some sought to harness the power of the artifacts for personal gain, while others believed that the ancient evil should be unleashed, seeing it as a means to cleanse the universe and start anew. As the team raced against time to unravel the secrets of the artifacts and uncover the location of the remaining pieces, they knew that the fate of not just Earth, but the entire universe hung in the balance. The true nature of the cosmic threat that loomed on the horizon was slowly coming into focus, and they were the only ones who could stop it. But the path ahead was fraught with danger, and they would soon find themselves facing challenges beyond anything they had ever encountered before. The ancient evil was stirring, and its servants were already on the move, determined to thwart the team's efforts at every turn. The stage was set for a battle that would shake the very foundations of the universe, and the team's every decision would have consequences that would ripple across the stars. The fate of all existence rested on their shoulders, and failure was not an option. Retrish, the team's mission, takes a terrifying turn when they encounter a hidden cult that worships an entity from the myths. During a confrontation, the cult leader reveals that the ancient threat is already awakening, and that the end of the universe is near. The aliens barely escape with their lives and a cryptic prophecy. As Zora and her team delved deeper into the mysteries surrounding the artifacts, they found themselves drawn to a remote region in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. Ancient texts spoke of a lost city, a place where the barriers between worlds were thin and the whispers of the gods could still be heard. After days of trekking through the dense jungle, they stumbled upon the ruins of a once great civilization, its crumbling temples and overgrown pyramids testament to the passage of time. But amidst the decay, they sensed a palpable aura of malevolence, an unseen force that seemed to watch their every move. As they explored the ruins, they discovered a hidden chamber deep beneath the central temple. The walls were covered in intricate carvings, depicting scenes of an ancient war between the forces of order and chaos. At the center of the chamber stood a massive stone altar, stained with the darkened remnants of ancient sacrifices. It was there that they encountered the cult, a group of humans who had forsaken their own humanity in service of an ancient and terrible power. The cultists were led by a figure known only as the High Priest, a gaunt and haunted man whose eyes gleamed with an otherworldly madness. The High Priest stepped forward, his voice echoing through the chamber with an unnatural resonance. "You seek the artifacts," he said, his gaze boring into Zora's soul. "But you do not understand the true nature of the power you meddle with. The Ancient One stirs, and its awakening cannot be stopped." Zora and her team readied themselves for a fight, but the High Priest simply laughed, a chilling sound that sent shivers down their spines. "You cannot hope to stand against the coming darkness," he proclaimed. "The end of all things is at hand, and the universe shall be unmade in the fires of chaos." With a wave of his hand, the High Priest summoned forth a horde of twisted creatures, abominations that seemed to be born from the very stuff of nightmares. The team fought bravely, their advanced technology and training proving a match for the cultists' dark magic. But as the battle raged on, the High Priest began to chant in an ancient and guttural tongue, his words tearing at the fabric of reality itself. A swirling vortex of darkness began to form above the altar, a yawning abyss that threatened to consume everything in its path. Zora realized that they were outmatched and outnumbered. She called for a retreat, and the team fought their way back to the surface, the screams of the cultists and the howls of the abominations echoing in their ears. As they emerged from the ruins, battered and bloodied, they found themselves face to face with the High Priest once more. He stood at the edge of the jungle, his eyes blazing with an unholy light. "You cannot escape your fate," he intoned, his voice carried on the wind. "The Ancient One shall rise, and all shall be consumed in the maelstrom of its wrath. But know this, outsiders, the key to your salvation lies within the myths you seek to unravel. Find the sacred vessel, the chalice of the gods, and you may yet have a chance to avert the coming apocalypse." With those final words, the High Priest vanished into the jungle, leaving the team alone with their thoughts and fears. They had barely escaped with their lives, and the cryptic prophecy the high priest had imparted weighed heavily on their minds. As they tended to their wounds and regrouped, Zora couldn't shake the feeling that they were running out of time. The ancient evil was stirring, and if the high priest was to be believed, it was already on the verge of awakening. They needed to find the remaining artifacts and unravel the secrets of the myths before it was too late. But the encounter with the cult had left them shaken and uncertain. They had caught a glimpse of the true nature of the threat they faced, and it was far more terrifying than anything they had ever imagined. The team set out once more, their resolve hardened by the knowledge that the fate of the universe rested on their shoulders. They would not rest until they had uncovered the truth and put an end to the ancient evil that threatened to consume all of existence. But the road ahead was long and treacherous, and they knew that they would be tested at every turn. The forces of chaos were gathering, and the final battle was fast approaching. The fate of the universe hung in the balance, and the team's every action would determine the course of the future. Exhausted and battered, but filled with an unwavering determination, Zora looked to the horizon and felt a spark of hope flicker to life within her. They would not lose. They could not lose. For the sake of every living being in the galaxy, they could not afford to fail. Desperate for answers, the alien team consults Earth's greatest mythological scholars. Together, they unravel a stunning revelation. The myths are a cosmic fail-safe, designed to prepare humanity for a battle against an incomprehensible evil. The aliens must race to decipher the clues and gather the remaining artifacts. Shaken by their encounter with the cult and the high priest's ominous prophecy, Zora and her team knew they needed help to unravel the true meaning behind Earth's myths. They sought out the world's foremost experts on mythology, hoping to find the answers they so desperately needed. Their search led them to Dr. Evelyn Blackwood, a brilliant but eccentric scholar who had dedicated her life to the study of ancient legends and their hidden truths. Dr. Blackwood was initially skeptical of the team's claims, but as they presented their findings and the artifacts they had collected, her eyes widened with a mix of awe and trepidation. "This is incredible," she breathed, carefully examining each artifact. "I've spent my entire career searching for proof that our myths are more than just stories, and now here it is, right in front of me." Together, the team and Dr. Blackwood delved into the depths of human mythology, poring over ancient texts and cross-referencing legends from cultures around the world. As they worked, a pattern began to emerge, a thread that wove through the tapestry of human storytelling. "The chalice of the gods," Dr. Blackwood murmured, her brow furrowed in concentration. "It appears in myths from every corner of the globe, always described as a vessel of immense power, capable of granting immortality or unleashing unimaginable destruction." She turned to Zora, her eyes alight with revelation. What if the chalice isn't just a symbol? What if it's a real artifact, a key to unlocking the ultimate fail-safe against the ancient evil? The team exchanged glances, the pieces of the puzzle finally falling into place. The myths were not just stories meant to entertain or educate. They were a cosmic instruction manual, left behind by an advanced civilization to prepare humanity for the battle to come. But as they dug deeper, they realized that the chalice was only one piece of a larger whole. The myths spoke of other artifacts, each one imbued with a portion of the power needed to defeat the ancient evil. The sword of the hero, the shield of the guardian, the crown of the ruler. Each one was a vital component in the ultimate weapon against the forces of chaos. Dr. Blackwood's eyes widened as she connected the dots. "The artifacts you've already collected, they're part of this cosmic fail-safe, but there are still others out there, scattered across the globe, waiting to be found." Zora nodded grimly, the weight of their mission settling on her shoulders like a physical burden. "Then we have to find them," she said, her voice filled with determination, "before the cult or anyone else can get their hands on them." The team set out once more, armed with the knowledge that they were not just fighting for the fate of Earth, but for the survival of the entire universe. They raced against time, following the clues left behind in the myths to track down the remaining artifacts. From the frozen wastes of Siberia to the scorching sands of the Sahara, they battled the forces of the cult and faced challenges that tested their resolve and their sanity. Each artifact they uncovered brought them one step closer to the ultimate showdown, but also revealed new depths to the cosmic conspiracy they had stumbled upon. As they journeyed on, they discovered that the advanced civilization that had left behind the fail-safe was not entirely gone. Remnants of their technology and knowledge still existed, hidden away in secret places and guarded by ancient orders sworn to protect them. Zora and her team forged alliances with these guardians, learning from their wisdom and wielding their technology in the fight against the cult. But even as they grew stronger, they knew that the true test was still to come. The final artifact, the Chalice of the Gods, remained elusive, always just out of reach. And with each passing day, they could feel the ancient evil growing stronger, its malevolent presence seeping into the very fabric of reality. Time was running out, and the team knew that they would have to risk everything in one final desperate gambit. They had come too far to turn back now, and the fate of the universe hung in the balance. As they stood on the brink of the final battle, Zora looked to her team, seeing the determination and courage etched on their faces. They had started this journey as strangers, but now they were bound together by a shared purpose and an unbreakable bond. Together, they would face the darkness and fight for the light. Together, they would stand against the ancient evil and protect the universe from annihilation. For in the end, it was not just their own lives they were fighting for, but the lives of every living being in existence. The stage was set, the pieces were in place, and the final act was about to begin. The team steeled themselves for the battle to come, knowing that failure was not an option. They would triumph, or they would die trying. The universe depended on it. The Galactic Council, now convinced of the danger, dispatches reinforcements to aid the team. However, a mole within the Council has been secretly working to resurrect the ancient threat. The team is ambushed, and a critical artifact falls into enemy hands. As Zora and her team raced against time to gather the remaining artifacts, the Galactic Council closely monitored their progress from afar. The revelations about the cosmic failsafe and the impending threat had sent shockwaves through the Council, and they knew that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. In a decisive move, the Council dispatched a fleet of their most advanced ships, filled with their most skilled warriors and technology, to aid the team in their quest. The reinforcements arrived just as Zora and her companions were closing in on the location of the penultimate artifact, the crown of the ruler. However, unbeknownst to the Council and the team, a mole had infiltrated the highest ranks of the galactic government. Zaxxon, a respected member of the Council, had long harbored a secret obsession with the power of the ancient evil. He believed that by controlling this cosmic force, he could reshape the universe in his own image and rule over all of existence. Zaxxon had carefully manipulated events from behind the scenes, using his influence to steer the Council's actions and gather information on the team's progress. As the fleet arrived to support Zora and her companions, Zaxxon saw his opportunity to strike. The team, along with the Council reinforcements, descended upon an ancient temple hidden deep within a remote asteroid field. As they navigated the treacherous corridors and faced the temple's guardians, they finally reached the chamber housing the crown of the ruler. But just as Zora reached out to claim the artifact, a massive explosion rocked the temple. Zaxxon's personal army, a legion of cybernetically enhanced mercenaries, stormed the chamber, catching the team off guard. The battle that followed was fierce and chaotic, with energy weapons and ancient magic clashing in a dizzying display of power. Amidst the chaos, Zaxxon himself appeared, his eyes blazing with an unholy light. He focused his attention on the crown, channeling his dark powers to wrench it from Zora's grasp. The team fought bravely, but Zaxxon's mastery of the dark arts proved too powerful. With a triumphant roar, he claimed the crown for himself and teleported away, leaving the temple crumbling in his wake. Battered and bruised, The team barely managed to escape the collapsing structure, their hearts heavy with the weight of their failure. The loss of the crown was a devastating blow, and they knew that Zaxxon would stop at nothing to claim the final artifact and resurrect the ancient evil. As they regrouped with the council reinforcements, Zora and her companions learned the shocking truth about Zaxxon's betrayal. The council was in turmoil, their trust shattered, and their resolve tested like never before. But even in the face of this setback, Zora refused to give up hope. She rallied her team and the remaining council forces, forging them into a united front against the impending darkness. They would not let Zaxxon win, no matter the cost. The final battle was fast approaching, and the team knew that they had to act quickly. The Chalice of the Gods, the last piece of the cosmic puzzle, still lay hidden somewhere in the vast expanse of the universe. They had to find it before Zaxxon could get his hands on it and unleash the full power of the ancient evil. As they set out on their final mission, the team knew that the odds were stacked against them. Zaxxon's army grew stronger by the day, and the forces of chaos were gathering on the horizon. But they also knew that they had something that Zaxxon could never understand: the power of unity, friendship, and an unbreakable determination to protect the universe they called home. They would face their darkest fears and confront the ancient evil head-on. They would stand together, no matter the odds, and fight for the future of all living beings. The final battle would test their courage, their resolve, and their very souls, but they would not back down. The fate of the universe hung in the balance, and Zora and her team were ready to face it, come what may. They had started this journey as strangers, but now they were more than friends. They were a family, bound by a shared purpose and an unwavering commitment to the light. Together, they would venture into the darkness, armed with the power of the artifacts and the strength of their own hearts. Together, they would stand against the ancient evil and fight for the very soul of the universe. The final chapter was about to begin, and they were ready to write it, no matter the cost. With time running out, the aliens make a daring plan to infiltrate the enemy's stronghold and recover the artifact. They face nightmarish creatures and mind-bending traps, each challenge mirroring a legendary trial from human myths. In a moment of self-sacrifice, one alien stays behind to ensure the team's escape. The revelation of Zaxxon's betrayal had left the team reeling, but they knew they had no time to waste. With the crown of the ruler in his possession, and the chalice of the gods still hidden, they had to act fast to prevent the resurrection of the ancient evil. Gathering their strength and resources, Zora and her team devised a daring plan to infiltrate Zaxxon's stronghold, a labyrinthine fortress carved into the heart of a dying star. The Council's intelligence had pinpointed the location, but breaching its defenses would require every ounce of skill, courage, and ingenuity they possessed. As they approached the stronghold, the team found themselves facing a gauntlet of nightmarish creatures and mind-bending traps, each one seemingly ripped from the pages of Earth's most terrifying legends. They battled golems of living stone, outsmarted riddling sphinxes, and navigated ever-shifting labyrinths that defied the laws of physics. Each challenge they faced mirrored a legendary trial from human myths, as if Zaxxon had somehow tapped into the collective unconscious of Earth's storytellers. The team realized that the artifacts they had collected were more than just tools. They were living embodiments of humanity's hopes, fears, and dreams. With each obstacle they overcame, the team grew stronger and more united, their bonds forged in the heat of battle and tempered by the weight of their shared purpose. But as they delved deeper into the stronghold, they also began to understand the true scope of Zaxxon's madness. The fallen council member had not just betrayed his own kind. He had forsaken his very soul in pursuit of power. The darkness that corrupted him was not just a force of chaos, but a living, sentient entity that fed on the suffering and despair of all living things. As they neared the heart of the fortress, the team finally confronted Zaxxon himself. The once respected leader was now a twisted mockery of his former self, his body warped by the dark energies he had embraced. In his hand, he held the crown of the ruler, its ancient metal pulsing with a sickly, otherworldly light. The battle that followed was unlike anything the team had ever experienced. Zaxxon wielded the power of the crown with terrifying skill, summoning forth legions of nightmare creatures and twisting the very fabric of reality to his will. The team fought back with every weapon and ability at their disposal, but they were slowly being overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of Zaxxon's power. In a moment of desperate clarity, Lyra, the empath of the team, realized what had to be done. She had sensed a weakness in Zaxxon's psychic defenses, a tiny crack in the armor of his corrupted soul. But exploiting that weakness would require a sacrifice, one that only she could make. With a final, tearful goodbye to her teammates, Lyra unleashed the full might of her empathic abilities, pouring every ounce of her love, compassion, and hope into Zaxxon's fractured mind. The psychic feedback was devastating, shattering Zaxxon's hold on the crown and sending him reeling in agony. But the backlash also consumed Lyra, burning out her mind and leaving her a lifeless husk. As her teammates watched in horror, Lyra's body dissolved into a swirl of glowing energy, her essence becoming one with the cosmic forces she had given her life to protect. In the chaos that followed, Zora managed to seize the crown, and the team fought their way out of the collapsing stronghold. They had dealt Zaxxon a crippling blow, but they knew that the battle was far from over. As they escaped the dying star, the team mourned the loss of their friend and comrade. Lyra's sacrifice had bought them a precious chance, but it had also shown them the true depths of the sacrifices they might yet have to make. With heavy hearts and unwavering resolve, they set their course for the final leg of their journey. The chalice of the gods still awaited them, and with it, the chance to put an end to the ancient evil once and for all. But as they rode into the cosmic night, the team also knew that they carried with them the memory and legacy of Lyra's noble spirit. She had shown them the true meaning of heroism, not just in her final act of sacrifice, but in a lifetime of compassion, courage, and unbreakable hope. In her name, they would fight on, no matter the trials that awaited them. For Lyra, for each other, and for the very soul of the universe itself, they would brave the darkness and carry the light of hope until the very end. As the ancient evil rises, the aliens return to Earth, revealing themselves to humanity and pleading for help. Faced with annihilation, humans must band together, wielding the power and wisdom hidden in their myths. With the crown of the ruler in their possession, and the memory of Lyra's sacrifice burning in their hearts, Zora and her team knew that they had no choice but to return to Earth. The ancient evil was rising, its power growing with each passing moment, and they needed the help of humanity to stand a chance against it. As their ship entered Earth's atmosphere, the team steeled themselves for the monumental task ahead. They knew that revealing themselves to humanity would be a risk, but they also knew that the fate of the universe depended on the strength and unity of all living beings. They landed in the heart of New York City, their ship's cloaking technology shimmering away to reveal its alien origins. The people of Earth reacted with a mixture of awe, fear, and disbelief as Zora and her team emerged, their true forms now visible for all to see. In a historic address broadcast around the world, Zora spoke to the people of Earth, revealing the truth of their mission and the impending threat that faced not just their planet, but the entire universe. She spoke of the artifacts they had collected, the ancient evil that sought to unmake all of creation, and the sacrifices they had made along the way. As the world listened in stunned silence, Zora issued a plea for help, calling upon the people of Earth to band together and join the fight against the darkness. She spoke of the power and wisdom hidden within human myths, the stories that had guided their quest and given them hope in their darkest hours. To the team's amazement, humanity responded with a resounding cry of support. Across the globe, people from all walks of life stepped forward, offering their skills, resources, and unwavering determination to the cause. Scientists and scholars pored over ancient texts, seeking clues to the location of the final artifact, while engineers and craftsmen worked tirelessly to build weapons and defenses inspired by the legendary tools of myth. As the preparations continued, the team also found unexpected allies among the shadowy organizations that had long guarded the secrets of Earth's past. The descendants of the mythical heroes and gods, hidden in plain sight for generations, now stepped into the light, ready to fulfill their ancient destinies. Among them was Dr. Evelyn Blackwood, the brilliant scholar who had helped the team unravel the secrets of the cosmic fail-safe. She revealed herself to be the last living descendant of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, and pledged her knowledge and her sacred relics to the cause. With each passing day, the forces of Earth and the galactic allies grew stronger, united by a common purpose and an unbreakable spirit. But even as they prepared for the final battle, they knew that time was running out. The ancient evil had sensed the gathering of its enemies and had begun to marshal its own forces. Across the universe, planets and stars winked out of existence as the darkness consumed them, and the fabric of reality itself began to fray at the seams. Zora and her team knew that they had to act fast. With the help of their human allies, they had finally located the resting place of the Chalice of the Gods, hidden deep within the catacombs beneath the ruins of an ancient civilization. As they prepared for the final expedition, the team gathered around the artifacts they had collected, feeling the weight of their destiny pressing down upon them. They knew that the next few hours would decide the fate of the universe, and that they would have to give everything they had to ensure its survival. With a final, determined nod to each other, they set out into the darkness, ready to face the trials and challenges that awaited them. Behind them, the armies of Earth and the galaxies stood ready, united in their resolve to defend their homes and their loved ones against the coming storm. The stage was set for the ultimate confrontation between light and darkness, hope and despair, creation and destruction. And in that moment, as they descended into the depths of the earth, Zora and her team knew that they carried with them the hopes, dreams, and unbreakable spirit of every living being in the universe. Together, they would stand against the darkness, and together, they would fight for the very future of existence itself. The final battle was about to begin, and they would face it with courage, determination, and the unwavering belief that, in the end, the light would always triumph over the darkness. In an epic battle that echoes the grandest tales of old, humans and aliens fight side by side against the ancient threat. Drawing strength from their shared stories and the indomitable human spirit, they vanquished the cosmic evil once and for all. From that day forward, the Galactic Council vows never again to underestimate the power of human imagination and the profound truths it can hold. Humans take their rightful place among the stars, their myths now celebrated as the saviors of the universe. As Zora and her team descended into the ancient catacombs, the armies of Earth and the galaxy gathered above, ready to face the onslaught of the ancient evil. The air crackled with tension and anticipation, as beings from countless worlds stood shoulder to shoulder, united in their determination to defend the universe. Deep beneath the surface, the team navigated the labyrinthine tunnels, following the whispers of ancient magic and the pulses of the artifacts they carried. They faced traps and guardians left behind by the long-dead civilization, their skills and courage tested at every turn. At last, they reached the Chamber of the Chalice, a vast, cavernous space filled with an eerie, pulsating light. In the center of the room, the Chalice of the Gods rested upon a pedestal, its ancient metal thrumming with power and potential. But as they approached the artifact, a figure emerged from the shadows, Zaxxon, his body warped and twisted by the dark energies he had embraced. The fallen council member had survived their last encounter, and now he stood before them, ready to claim the chalice and unleash the full might of the ancient evil upon the universe. The battle that followed was a clash of titans, a confrontation that would echo through the ages. Zora and her team fought with all the skill, courage, and determination they possessed, wielding the artifacts and their own unique abilities against Zaxxon's dark magic. Above them, The armies of Earth and the galaxy engaged the forces of the ancient evil, a swirling maelstrom of chaos and destruction that threatened to engulf all of existence. Mythical beasts and legendary heroes fought side by side with alien warriors and advanced technology, their combined might holding the line against the encroaching darkness. As the battle raged on, Zora and her team began to falter, their strength waning in the face of Zaxxon's relentless onslaught. But just when all seemed lost, a surge of power coursed through them. The combined hopes, dreams, and memories of every living being in the universe channeled through the artifacts they bore. With a final triumphant cry, Zora seized the chalice of the gods and held it aloft, its ancient power blazing like a supernova in the heart of the chamber. The light of the chalice pierced the darkness, driving back the shadows and searing the ancient evil with its radiant truth. Zaxxon screamed in agony as the power of the chalice consumed him, his body dissolving into motes of light that scattered on the cosmic winds. The ancient evil, weakened and broken by the combined might of the artifacts and the indomitable spirit of its opponents, let out a final desperate roar before it too was banished, cast back into the abyss from whence it had come. As the light of the chalice faded, Zora and her team emerged from the catacombs, battered but victorious. Above them, the armies of Earth and the galaxy cheered in triumph, their voices rising in a chorus of joy and relief that echoed across the stars. In the aftermath of the battle, the true significance of human myths and stories became clear. The Galactic Council, humbled and awed by the power of human imagination, vowed never again to underestimate the wisdom and truth that could be found in these tales. Humanity, once seen as a primitive and insignificant species, now took its rightful place among the stars, their myths and legends celebrated as the saviors of the universe. The artifacts that had once been scattered across the cosmos were now entrusted to Earth's care, a testament to the courage and determination of its people. As for Zora and her team, they became living legends, their names spoken with reverence and gratitude on 1,000 worlds. They had started their journey as outsiders, but now they were heroes, their deeds woven into the tapestry of the universe itself. And though the scars of the battle would linger, the people of Earth and the galaxy knew that they had faced the greatest threat to existence itself and emerged victorious. They had proven that the power of stories, the strength of unity, and the indomitable spirit of all living beings could overcome even the darkest of evils. From that day forward, the universe sang with the tales of their triumph, an endless symphony of hope and courage that would endure for generations to come. And at the heart of it all, the power of human imagination and the unbreakable bonds of friendship and love that had brought them through the darkness and into the light. The end.